Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and this is very important, so make sure you don't skip this part of the video so there's no confusion. This is a re-upload, or a re-recorded or re-released video back from the Manor Lords demo from a few years ago. With Manor Lords coming up on April 26, 2024, I thought it'd be great to showcase the game again, as, well, we haven't really had a demo since, and there's been new gameplay footage released, there's new trailers and such all over the channel, so just make sure that you know that this is a re-upload and that I'm on a little vacation, and so, you know, I figured it'd be great to show the game again. I'm really missing it, and I actually was watching some of my old videos after finding out about the new trailer, and I was like, man, I missed this game and kind of forgotten how to play. So this will be a re-upload of the original Manor Lords demo from years ago. There is nothing new here that hasn't been uploaded before, but you may have not seen this before, or maybe you did, and it's time to get into that Manor Lords mood again. Now, I'm thinking the developers are probably going to release some new news and trailers and such pretty much every week or a couple weeks until it's released. Hell, we're at the end of February into March now, and April will be here very soon. I mean, about a month to go until its release. Well, that'll eventually be here, at least it feels like it. So, anyway, enjoy this re-upload, and I will see you when I see you. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about the game down below, and if it's something you'll get day one, or if you want to wait a little bit, and let me know if you played the demo, what your experiences were, and if you missed it, what are you hoping to see from the game? Alright, let's go ahead and jump in to this re-upload. Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to Manor Lords. Today's video, I'm going to try to show you all the tips and tricks of getting started and surviving your first year, and more importantly, your second year in Manor Lords, a game that gets tough, but you can definitely do it, and it's a lot of fun. A medieval city builder that we've all been waiting for. Keep in mind that this game is a free demo from October 3rd to October 10th, 2022, and that will be showcasing that current version of the game. There's no current military options in the game aside from kind of building a manor and also a large defensive wall around it, but in the future of the game there'll be more military aspects to it, and it'll be a lot of fun. So welcome aboard. Thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to all the new members, and thank you very much for leaving a like. So, what's it like to start new in Manor Lords? How do you do it? What's the easiest way? What are some tips and tricks that we've learned so far from me and other content creators who are my friends? Gave a lot of tips, giving information in our Discord and whatnot. Here's what we've learned so far, and anything that you know of and or would like to help out with. Make sure you comment down below on anything that you've learned or seen elsewhere, or alternative methods to building. Let's start. So currently in the game, there's the only Rise to Prosperity campaign, where we're going to be the only lord to settle these lands. So we'll be alone, no one to trade with directly, aside from some off-map trading routes. So we'll start with Rise to Prosperity, and then of course we can start our very own logo and our own lord too. So we'll go with this Lady Noob. Let's make Lady Noob here and see what it's like to create our first village. So yes, all sorts of different coats of arms and patterns and such for that. So let's go with something along these lines here. We'll go with the Ferrari logo, why not? And we'll make it look something like that. Perfect. Alright, so there's lots of things here. None of this matters for the game. It doesn't matter what you name your character or what their background is. This will matter more for military stuff in the future, but this is just kind of cosmetic, so you're okay to go from here. Now, this is something that you might want to pay a little bit of attention to. For your first time, it might be easier to give yourself a little bit more starting supplies. So if you're learning for the first time or want to get further in shorter time, you can give yourself double starting supplies. You can make your approval a little bit more challenging or easier. So probably the easiest settings will be double starting supplies, tolerant approval, and then for weather events, you could basically just turn that down to none, which I don't know exactly. Let's see how it governs rain damage. Oh, to expose supplies. Okay. So that's probably something that doesn't matter too much, but we'll turn it to none just for first-time players. Okay, so remember, starting supplies, double, approval, tolerant, and weather events. And this game is very good about giving as much detail as they can currently on a lot of hovering over of terms. So make sure that you hover your mouse over anything to learn more about it. That might be helpful. Let's begin. And here we are. Beautiful. A new message. So our current goal, aside from all this text which you can read, is to build a granary, a logging camp, a forger hut, and a storehouse at the very beginning. We have 1 year to do that, so let's get started. First and foremost, your speed controls in the corner. It might be a good idea to play just on the slowest speed for now. And let's get a lay of the land. If we zoom out here, we can see that we're on the far left side of the map. in an area known as Layfield. We have ourselves some berries nearby. We have some wild animals nearby. We have some stone, and we have some iron deposits nearby too. Excellent. Alright, so this is our starting position up on the hill here. We have some homeless tents, and we have a hitching post, and we also have some supplies that have been dropped off too. So we can see things like firewood and bread, and also some logs sitting here too. So you can also get a count of everything that you have in the upper right corner. Again, just remember to hover over everything, and keep in mind that it's incomplete, so some of the things might not show up properly, like just reading as item 102 or something like that. So don't worry too much about that. Alright, we've started with 5 unassigned families. There's 5 people here, essentially, ready to work. And so what thing do we build first? Well, the first and most important thing is the logging camp. Without additional timber, we won't be able to build much else. And so we've started with 16. So one of the first things we'll do is probably clear the land up here. We're going to try to build an entire city up here, next to the border of our region and kind of in between this road. Now, we can't delete this road. It's the King's Road, and we're not permitted to actually delete it, so we may as well build within it. So let's get started then. We'll build our logging camp pretty much right next to the trees. So the first tab, Gathering, has our timber logging camp here. It is a logging camp that generates timber, and the woodcutter lodge creates firewood, so you can see what the building is up top and what it produces down below. So let's get started with our logging camp then. So we can hold the left mouse button to rotate, and each of those nodes will help the building connect to the road, so we can connect this from up here on the hill to the road down where the King's Road is. We'll build this here. If we build it in the forest, you can see that it'll uproot 15, 16 trees, so we don't necessarily want to damage any of the trees, so we'll kind of build it here on the edge of the forest right here. Now, as we cut down more and more trees, we're going to be further and further away from them, so it's going to be kind of hard to get additional wood without some time passing, and that's okay. Just keep in mind that it'll take longer as we go. Alright, so we've left-click. We've instructed the peasants now to build the logging camp, so they'll bring over the necessary logs with the oxen. Any of the oxen that you have, which you can have more than one, but we'll get to that some other time. So each of those logs will be brought over one by one, to which it requires 2, and then the peasants will begin construction after the materials are in place. Here's how road building works. Some workers use hand carts to transport goods more efficiently, up to 10 items at once. To enable handcart transportation, road points from both buildings have to be connected by road network. So in this case, the oxen will just basically drag the log along to construction sites, and also from the logging site to construction sites once logs are depleted from your initial storage area. So after a while, they'll all be here because this is where they're going to be gathered from. Now, what's really tedious about this is that the oxen eventually will have to go into the forest to pick up logs that the workers have cut down and bring them to the logging camp, and then from the logging camp to a future construction site. So you'll need to get yourself some additional cattle, or rather oxen, as soon as possible. Alright, let's go ahead and connect the roads. Build a nice little road this way. Road building is very nice. Every time that you click, you can build kind of like a node to make more curves. You can right-click to delete. You can also hold Control and use your scroll wheel to kind of increase or decrease the curvature. So if you want to make like a 90-degree road, like around a building, like if you want to make a perimeter road, you could do that. Or you can make a nice curvy road that kind of hugs the hillside, or you could just make a straight road by just going 1, 2, like that. We're going to make a little curved road here, a little challenge for us. So let's go with that. We'll increase the road curvature. I found that the sweet spot for road curvature is somewhere just past the middle. So if you kind of go a little bit over 50%, it kind of makes a nice smooth looking road. You can also see the curvature or the contour lines of the elevation here, so you can kind of see as it's getting lower and lower with those orange lines there. So another helpful way to kind of keep an eye on that kind of stuff. Now, that only really matters for building of buildings, so you won't be able to build a building on a steep cliffside, but you will be able to build roads. Your people don't mind walking uphill a little bit. Back in the day, they walked uphill both ways, so why should this be any different? Right, so the logging camp is under construction. What should we do next when that's complete? Well, we could still build things. There's no blueprint mode in this game, but we can still build things with the additional timber in storage. So let's build a storehouse next to our forestry building, since that'll be there for a while. Our logging camp, that is. So here's our storehouse under the storage box. You can see here that it provides storage. Let's go ahead and build it, like right here. and that'll automatically connect there. You can kind of see the little roads coming out. So you can build off the road a little bit, and not all buildings have to be built on the road too. If you wanted to, you could build a forager hut way deep back in the woods for berries, and your people can walk. But a road is a little bit more beneficial, and they'll stick to that road too. So speaking of berries, that's a food source that we probably should go get, and we're going to need that. But we need an area to store that, so let's build ourselves a granary, and that's something that will be able to hold any type of food, not just, for example, flour and grain, but it can hold any food type. So let's build that as well. Let's see, we have ourselves a hunting area up here too. So it might be a good idea for us to build maybe back on that road somewhere. Oh, there's hunting down here too. This seems a little closer, actually, these two. If we build a granary here, a hunting post, and a forager, we can have all of our food gathering right down here by the road. So we'll build it, maybe we'll build it here. A little clearing for us. Let's go with our granary then. Build that kind of facing the town a little bit more. Let's actually build it off into its own thing. Try to make a facility out of it, like a little cordoned off area. We'll put our granary here.
Come on, people, get to work.
Then we'll build our gathering hut. And we'll build our hunting camp. Build it somewhere like this.
Come on, people, get to work.
Great. Alright, so now everybody's got a task. Now, food is a little bit more important than shelter at the moment. Our people do start with tents, so although they're not going to be happy about this lack of shelter, it's better than being dead from a lack of food. And, of course, your food will go quickly bad if you have the settings set to balanced or whatnot for the food, the weather events, that is. Now, we've turned that off, so rain will never make our bread go bad, but we're also going to pretend as if we need to absolutely get it done ASAP. So this bread here of 37 is great, but it's not going to last forever. So we need to definitely get a food supply up before we build houses. Since we need to wait a long time for all those woods to generate too. All the logs to generate from cutting down trees. Alright, so the logging camp is almost done. By the way, there's a cool little button you can click up here called Visit Mode. And if you'd like to, you can take a look around a little bit from the perspective of a lord. Nice. Good job, everyone. Cool way that you can actually walk around your whole city if you want to. Anywhere you put the camera and click that button, it'll basically spawn like right down below. So if you'd like to take a look at the homeless camp, you can do that way. Pretty cool. Alright, well, let's go ahead now and take a look at the other buildings that we're constructing. So now, oh great, the hunting camp is already under construction. Very good. We need to assign a few people to the logging camp, so let's have 3.
Let's get to work.
Now keep in mind, anybody you have unassigned, they'll work on building and repair. So having 2 unassigned people will help construction to increase. But we also need wood to do that, so we got our oxen here, Herman, bringing the, go Herman, go! We got our little ox bringing things back and forth, in this case logs, from the supply pile, to which there is now 8 timber remaining. So that should be enough to continue to build those buildings. We have our logging camp up, we assigned 3 people now. And now, we either have the choice to keep the work area unlimited to where they'll cut down any trees, I think starting with the closest, or we can designate. So we're going to designate. And I'm going to make this area huge. I'm going to try to make this as big as possible and try to cut down a bunch of trees here so we can eventually build a city in this direction. So let's start cutting down these trees. We purposely want to clear cut that. And we also want to take a look at where other fertility is. So if we click the build menu down here, we can take a look at where water is. So that'll be good for building our well in the future. Emmer fertility, which is perfect for basically wheat. Flax, which will be used for making clothing and linen, barley, which will be used for making beer, and rye, which I'm not sure if we can actually get yet in the game, but it pretty much grows anywhere. I haven't seen the ability yet to grow it, but it is a thing in the game, and will act as if we could possibly grow it. Smell is also something to consider, and that's for you. You smell. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's actually for having maybe like sheep farms or something like that. Building homes next to the pasture. People might not like that, but that might not be implemented as well. So, we found out that there's a lot of fertility down here for flax and emmer. Actually, just the emmer itself, but flax is down here. So we could start farming here and here on both sides of the road for wheat and for flax in order to make linen to make clothing. So that's something we'll consider in the future. But I would like to do some sort of a farm here eventually, so we'll build our city up north and keep farming down here kind of on the slope. Cool. Alright, so our first goals, right? We have 351 days to complete this. The granary is being constructed. The logging camp is done. The foraging hut should go up, and same with the storehouse. So now all we got to do is wait. But we can get a little ahead of ourselves by building houses next. That'll be our next task. So let's go ahead and build some nice houses. We'll build a nice little neighborhood up here. We don't want to build too far into the forest and destroy trees. So let's build like a nice little curved road up here that kind of goes around. So we can build another road that goes behind these buildings here. Or we can build a road that kind of winds up the hill. Let's do that. We'll build a nice winding road up the hill, trying to avoid where the Emmer fertility is. So I think what we'll do is we'll hug the left side, and we'll allow this area over on the right for farming. But we can build on both sides of the road eventually, or delete roads. That is the thing that we can do. If you accidentally make an oopsie, which by the way, roads are free, and you don't like this road anymore, you can always hold Alt, and then click remove. But you can't do that with the King's Road. Okay, let's build a nice winding path. Let's increase curvature a little bit. So much for sticking to that left side, huh? Oh well, plans change. Although we certainly made our curve more to the left there at the start. But this will look nice. Let's actually go back a little bit and make a somewhat straight line here for some of our initial buildings, like a church. There we go. That'll look nice. Ah, that's really nice, actually. Much better than just swinging to the left, I think. Alright, very nice. Okay, let's start building some houses. So under construction, we have ourselves village life, and we can build ourselves something known as a burger plot. Yeah, it's where we get our hamburgers. Now it's a burgage plot. This will allow us to build a house, but also on the back of that, we can build something known as extensions. So if we give the plot enough space, it'll have a plus sign above the house, and that'll allow us to do things like farming vegetables. We can make chicken coops, and we can also make goat sheds there. So that'll allow us to provide our people with eggs, vegetables, and also milk from the chickens and the goats and the farms that we can build, the little gardens for vegetables. Can't build those in the large fields, so keep in mind that this is also going to be part farming too. So some buildings have flexible borders, so you can see here we can build 4 nodes to make a square, and there's also a rotate button. So as you build your houses, you can click that rotate button to make it face a road that you built or a future road that you're going to build. Additionally, it hugs the road very nicely. So you can actually do something like this. If you want to, you can almost get a corner in like that, build a node, and then make something like that. Unfortunately, this is too steep, but you get the idea. We can make very nicely shapen plots that way. Okay, let's build some houses. This might be a little too steep, I think. Let's try. Oh, it's actually pretty close. Let's go ahead and build some houses here. We'll build a group of like maybe 2 homes here. That should be good. Plot too small, okay. Build it a little wider. I like how this works in the game, by the way. It really reminds me of like laying out in City Skylines. So we can make misshapen plots if we want to, or we can make them larger if we want to. Just keep in mind, wow. Just keep in mind that the added size, I don't think that will add to, for example, the output of farms. I'm not sure. You can give that a try for yourself, but maybe building a plot as large as the one on the left might not give additional resources. So you kind of want to keep them as small as possible, but also big enough to have your extensions. So let's build those then. And again, remember, we can rotate, or we can build. So each of those plots are going to take 2 wood, so we can build 2 more then. We can build some on the other side, although that's a little too steep, so let's build maybe up here. I think we'll build maybe 2 more here. The homeless tents are in the way. Well, let's try to build here. It's probably going to be too steep. Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, well, we'll build 2 more maybe on the backside here. There we go. That'll do. Excellent. Alright, cool. So now we've got 4 homes completed. We'll need a 5th. We'll leave this area for our church, since it's kind of the highest point of the hill. Actually, right over here is the highest point. So we'll build some more homes here, just in this area. We'll just build 1 more. But we have no more timber. So now it is April. Oh, and it's raining a lot, isn't it? So when we start the game, I believe it's March, April. And if you hover your mouse over here, you can see some of the details about farming and gathering. So if you have berries nearby, which now we can start gathering very shortly, you'll be able to gather those in the spring to the autumn months. So it says here, spring, frequent raining, and berry deposits will regrow. So berries are available from spring until about December, as it says at the very bottom. It looks like spring is a great time for plowing. Crop harvesting will take place in the summer and in the autumn time as well. And then plowing and sowing takes place right after that. And berries will start disappearing in autumn and be gone by completely winter. So maybe by September, it's a good idea to maybe focus a little bit more on hunting, or at least have a farm up. It is almost next to impossible, or really not a good idea to even attempt to do farming until you've got a few more people in your city, because you still need some of the basics to be complete, such as logging, which certainly will take about 3 people to do. Alright, we've got Herman here, going to transport some more logs back and forth. Anything else left in that pile? Oh yeah, there's a few more supplies left here. So Herman's going to work going back and forth to build the remaining buildings. So right now they're working on the granary, and then he's probably going to be delivering materials for the hunting camp and the forager, and then we can assign people to those too. Now keep in mind, we only have 2 people left to assign, and each of these buildings needs a person to work them too. So the granary needs to go to the buildings to gather the food, and obviously the forager hut needs someone to go forage, and the hunter needs someone to go hunt. So we're probably going to take some people off the logging camp later on and get them working in the food industry, the gathering industry. We'll be doing some gathering from here. Here's what the berries look like, 120. And we'll go hunting down here. This is what the deer look like. Pretty. Very pretty. Okay, a granary is complete. We can hold off on that for now. Actually, let's assign somebody, so that way they can store the food that's up here. This will clear the area so we can do building in the future. So our stockpile and our supplies are kind of already preset. I do wish we could actually start our spawn area. It would be nice if we could put down a hitching post and then be able to move that somewhere else and then have the village built. But the hitching post is essentially the kind of the rally point for the oxen. Anytime that they're not doing work, they'll come back here. Now you can have more than 2 oxen, and you don't need anybody working at the hitching post in order for the work to get done. Like for example, you can see Herman there being escorted by somebody, but somebody doesn't need to be assigned here, so just kind of think of it as a marker, just like a post, like literally a stick pointing out of the ground where the oxen will go to. Let's go ahead and put the hitching post over here. It can be moved. That relocate button at the top is important. And so we can move that over here. Alright, we completed our first goal. We did it. Granary, logging camp, forager hut, and storehouse complete. A new message. Alright, so now they're going to ask us to build a well as water for these 5 burgage plots that we're building, which are the homes that we built earlier. Okay. We have 1 year to do this. Let's do it. Alright, forager. Now we can again leave them unlimited, but I'm just going to designate. Otherwise the building's automatic. But we'll just designate to know that we did it. Now we got 1 person gathering berries for us. And we got 1 person going and grabbing all that bread. And getting that out of there. And we'll need somebody in the storehouse too to go gather that firewood and stop blocking this area too. So this will disappear when all the food is in the granary. This will disappear when all of the wood has been brought over to the construction sites. And the firewood will disappear when we build a storehouse and have somebody carry that out of there. And the homeless tents will disappear once we have homes, and people will automatically move into those homes. So that's going to be good. I really wish we had fences or something to build in this game to kind of cordon off certain industrial areas to kind of separate them from, you know, like having the logging area here, having the neighborhood here, and having our like food production here. It'd be kind of nice to be able to decorate that way, but probably something to come in the future of Manor Lords. All right, let's speed up time again. Now we're just going to wait for those homes to be constructed and for more wood to come in for our well. Keep in mind that the well is under the Village Life tab, and it's the second one, and it does require 1 timber to build. But as you can see, we don't have that yet. So we got to wait until construction is complete on some of those other projects as they are now, and then our good friend Herman can deliver the rest of the materials to the town. The other projects up here are complete, I mean. So now it's all coming down to the town. Alright, let's watch some of the construction. Very cool in this game. You can actually see all the things being put into place. Everything from walls to foundations to fencing to even little lean-tos to where firewood can be stored under as well. Very cool. Alright, let's speed up time even more now. Time 16. And we'll wait a little bit longer. The logging camp should be cutting down logs as well. Yep. So there's already some materials for Herman to go gather. And he'll continue to gather more. Wow. So some things that we can't do in this game so far is we're not allowed to take over other regions. Even if we get the 1,000 influence to claim other regions, we'll not be able to go anywhere else. So don't anticipate that if one of your starting areas doesn't have wild animals that you can go to another one. You won't be able to cross that border at all. Your people won't be able to be instructed to go there, and you can't claim that territory for your own, at least in this current version. Keep in mind there's also no save in the current version as well, which is somewhat annoying to a lot of people, including myself, but the developer is working on, I think, an issue or something related to making sure that that works and works properly when it does. I guess it's probably good to say that there's no saving up front rather than saying that there is a save but it doesn't work or something like that, or it could corrupt your data, that kind of thing. So let's build our well here. That'll be fine. So every time that you exit the game, yeah, it's going to clear your information, your save so far. One of the major setbacks, but it is an opportunity to build and build and build again. And since you're watching this for a tutorial or to possibly help others, it's always a good idea and an opportunity to restart. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Let's build some roads over here around our logging camp. Can we build a 90-degree road? Yeah, pretty much. Nice. Alright, so now we have a way through the town and through the logging area. Cool. Hey, look at that. A couple of our houses already complete. We've got 2 of the 4 complete already. We'll build one more on the corner here as soon as it's done. And we'll do our layout now. Well, which way should we make this face? Let's make it face this way. We can actually do a layout for additional homes. They're going to be a little short for the extensions. But not every house needs to have the extension. Let's build something like this. Oh, nice. That house there will have the extension. That'll be fine with me. Cool. 2 more houses to lay down. Now, trees are easily cleared, but one thing I don't like doing in this game, and you might want to be mindful too, is, of course, if you put down a construction site over trees, they'll just delete. You don't necessarily get the resources or anything like that. So, unfortunately, if you build something and it disappears, that's it. It'll disappear, and you don't get the resources for it. Alright, so coming soon will be the winter. It is now July, and we need to worry about fuel next, so we're going to start working on that. But now we've just completed yet another goal, and we have a new message. And now we are a small village. Let's see what the king wants us to do next. Ooh, cool sound effects. Alright, so now we're going to be, this is the end game. This is the major goal. Now I have a video on how to more end game complete this, more details on how to do the first goal, which is the Burgage Plot level 2. So if you need additional help from here, there is a new video out for, or it will be coming soon. It should be up shortly on how to do that. Lots of information coming out, so just keep in mind as a little asterisk here, the Burgage Plot goal is a little more in depth, but essentially it requires you to provide those people with a lot of goods, so be mindful about providing those goods, and that'll take a long time to do. This next goal is going to take a very, very long time, which is why we get 1,800 days to complete it. So that's a very long time. Alright. So, first things first then, in order to upgrade these houses to Tier 2, they want 2 food types, 2 clothing types, entertainment, and faith. So we need to build a tavern and a church. The church is probably the easiest thing to do, so we'll probably get started on that shortly. But they also want us to build a marketplace, so I think we could maybe build a market over here and build our church next to it. And that'll help us to complete distribution of food. And we also have 5 logs as well, but we want to get our population up a little bit more. We need more hands to do the work. Some of these buildings aren't even completely full yet. So the forager hut, for example, and the hunting cabin aren't even really working to their full potential. So let's build some more homes to attract more peasants. Let's do that. There we go. Ah, we can build the extensions here. Let's make this square, actually. There we go. Perfect. Ah, nice. Alright, let's build a road maybe to go down to the... Well, that's a little steep, so let's make it go down here. That'll be the end of that neighborhood there. As it's getting a little steep, and we'll use the trees as kind of a buffer between the main road. Think of this as kind of like a highway, and these as kind of like neighborhood roads or county roads. Alright, so we've got another house being constructed. Now keep in mind that the first 5 homes that you build will only house the first 5 people that you have. So when you build your 6th home, it'll attract a 6th person. 7th home will attract your 7th person, and so on. Oh my god, this music's so good. One of the greatest things about Manor Lord is, well, not only the atmospheric... Wow, look at that. Not only the fog and the atmospheric rain and the sounds, but also the music. Very, very good. Alright. It's only July and we've done a great amount of work already. Let's continue to complete construction projects, and we'll let Herman, our ox, continue to transport things back and forth to construction sites and also from the logging camps too. Now there is a way to get additional oxen, but we'll cover that in another video. But keep in mind that construction will be very slow until you've got more than one. One ox is not enough, and we'll need more, but we'll keep it simple for now. Alright. So now we've got more logs coming over. And we've got another person working. Let's go ahead and have this person now work as a hunter. And we'll have them go hunt this area. Remember, hold control and adjust your work area with your scroll wheel. Good. Oh, this is great. It's probably the nicest start I've had in a whole city. All the times that I've practiced and played this, and many other games, come into account here too. So if you're having trouble building a nice city or whatnot, it's okay. Practice will make perfect. And if you haven't played much of survival city builders before, this one shouldn't be so intimidating. It's a little bit forgiving for it being a demo. But I think that there certainly could be more tutorials and help in the future too for this game. But it'll just take time for them to develop that. Okay, well now we're gathering berries and meat. Oh, we got another person moved in. Let's go more for the meat. Now keep in mind too that wild animals, when they're hunted, the number starts at around 40 and will continuously go down as you hunt them. So you don't want to overhunt, and if you have multiple areas to hunt, take advantage of those. Wow, that music though. Alright, another person is joined. Excellent. Let's keep building homes. We'll build our church here, so let's build this house facing this way. Plot too small. The plot thickens. Oh, you know what? We've got 6. Where should we put this actually? We've got 6 of the 8 logs required here. Keep an eye on your unassigned families in the upper left corner. Every time you get one, you should definitely put it towards food gathering. So we started with around 32 food, and now we have 33. Bread went down from 32 to 20, but we have 10 berries and 3 meat, so that's good. Alright, no more construction, which means more log gathering. So keep in mind also, if you're doing a construction project, Herman will probably be, or your ox will be, delivering all of the goods to the construction site and not gathering logs from the logging site to storage, so you won't be generating logs. So you have to sit idle a little bit in order to do that. Alright. Let's try to squeeze some more houses in. We'll try to do it right here. And we want those extensions, again, remember, for chicken coops and for gardens. Build something like this. Oh, there we go. That's nice. And now we can put down our church. We have 11 timber, but it's actually 7 because we're using some for construction. But that's alright. Even if we laid it out, one construction project can go at a time. Alright, winter is coming too, so one of the things that we should start doing now is to prepare for firewood. So we're going to very quickly build a woodcutter lodge, and the woodcutter lodge can actually go and cut down their own trees, so they're supplied by themselves. They don't need a logging camp or anything else to do that. So we'll go ahead and build them maybe up here to try to supply our people with wood faster and more territory to build. So the faster we clear out this forest, the better. Let's go ahead and build that across. There we go. So storage, logging, and wood cutting. Let's also lay out our marketplace too, which we might need more material for. Marketplace under village life here, market area. It doesn't have to be too large. It only needs to supply a few areas for stalls. We could actually build that right here. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah. That's perfect. We'll build our marketplace right here. But we'll do that later. We're just going to designate the area for now. Two more homes. Build a road that way. Now, since a lot of the buildings are rectangle and square, I find myself making a lot of gridiron type layouts, which I'm trying to get away from. I feel like this is a little bit more free than the typical one, though. Trying not to make four-way intersections and trying to, of course, the plots themselves have to be square. We can't make like a circular fence or something around our houses, but so far so good here. Alright, we have another person. Keep assigning them to food. That's a good idea. There we go. We want to gather the berries as quickly as possible because remember, they'll be going bad at about September. So now it's August. We still have a little bit of time. But hopefully we have enough time to get that done. And we're building the woodcutter lodge too. And we have 10 logs for now. We should get some more houses to get more people. Let's build our church first, though, so it's a landmark building. That looks really nice. We'll build it this way. There we go. Trying to snap that way, I see. Let's try to do this. Oh, we could do that. Hold on.
Let's go, people!
All right, nice. A good spot now for the church. Keeping an eye on our materials there. Plot is too small. Aw, shame. It'd be a perfect fit. Trying to see if we can just fit one more. Oh, we almost could. Some of that firewood there just needs to be removed from that area. I really want to be able to build a home there. I've built much smaller plots before, so I feel like it should fit there. But if we could, we'll make that area for a park then. Now, we have enough firewood to get through our first winter. We have 40, but we certainly want more. Not only of people, but we also want more firewood. Not good there either. Now we'll build some more houses around the church then. The church does have several entry points, so we can make a kind of a square road around that. There we go. All right, let's build some houses here. We'll lose maybe a tree. There we go. But also I've seen the trees being able to build or stay in the backyard of a house, but once you build some sort of a specialization, it'll disappear. But we won't be able to log that area. That's totally fine, though. It looks nice. All right, we're into September. We're getting towards the end of the year now. A couple more families will move in. We'll have the woodcutter lodge cut down trees here. There we go. Lots more logs for our friend to pick up. All right, church construction is almost complete. Nice. 3 entryways into the church. Now we've earned a development point, but if you click on your town name at the top, you can rename your town, but you will not be able to spend any of those points. It is currently locked in the demo. So something to help out in the future to diversify some of your development and make it a little bit easier. All right, the church is down, so 1 need for everybody should be complete. We're also providing 1 food, but we'll get more as we start farming soon enough. but we'll worry about clothing and entertainment last. We'll do food next, as we're going to start working on farming. So we can lay out a farm plot, and we don't have to do anything with it just yet, but let's go ahead and prepare for eventual farming. This will be for probably the next couple of years. We don't have to do anything with the field, but we certainly want to make a big field, big as we can here. See if we can keep it to maybe 7 people or so. A field can be too big. It'll require 7 people at the biggest size. 8 is too many. But we'll do something like this for our emmer. Nice. And we'll just basically leave this inactive for the time being. It'll stay as fallow for a while. I believe that might also increase the fertility over time, but that's for year 2. Alright, going into September. And the music is popping off, isn't it? A banger. Build another house. We're keeping an eye now on our population a little bit. Unfortunately, even that corner is too small. But now we've got additional workers. So let's work on firewood, since we're trying to survive our first year. And I think building those farm fields is free too, so we don't necessarily need to spend any material to do that. Alright, we're going to have to wait for this area to eventually be cleared, but we do have the basics going. So we have firewood going, we have food going, we have shelter going. We have another person who's about to move in. We'll add them to our firewood supply under fuel. Ooh, the church. That sounds nice. Alright, the king demands. Alright, so now we have to start paying taxes. And this is something that we're going to have to do in the next year. So that's going to require us to build a tax office and build a bailey of fortification, essentially. So we'll be tasked with building our manor now, but that's something that we'll have to cover in another video. Make sure you watch that other video that I had mentioned too on how to build defenses and how to get some of the tasks done for upgrading houses to level 2. So level 2 and also your tax office will be in another video that should be labeled as such. Make sure you take a peek for that. Oh, the music is so nice. Control Charlie, we can actually hide the HUD. And if we hit Control and C or Charlie, look at that. Isn't that pretty? It looks amazing, doesn't it? Oh, and the autumn looks so wonderful. Press escape to go back. Oh yes, we have no crop identified for that. That's fine. We're not doing farming yet. Oh, looks like we've been given 2 tools. Excellent. Now eventually we're going to have to build a windmill. So I'll lay that out for the next year. And we're also going to have to build ourselves a farm. Oh, this is at 98% effectiveness. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Keep in mind when you build your windmill, there is efficiency for it. I'm going to build it like this. I'm going to build it just like that.
Get to work.
There we go. Alright, getting a head start on the next year. If we're going to farm, the only way we can use that grain is by turning it into flour, and the only way we can use that flour is by, of course, building a bakery too. So we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but this will be to show what you probably will be building in year 2. So we're getting started. Just imagine that it's like spring of year 2, with maybe year 3 when you really start your farming, because then your population will be a little higher to accommodate it. Remember, we need 7 people to work the field. We need at least 1 person to work at the flour mill and also at the bakery. So we're going to work on getting our population up a bit, and also kind of keep an eye on food, to which we have no meat at the moment. They must be eating that right away. We set our hunting limit to 20, so as soon as this number hits 20, they'll stop hunting again. And so we could probably turn this building off temporarily, and then maybe set it down to 10, and then we'll be able to hunt 30 animals, then turn it off. It's kind of a manual management thing that you might want to keep an eye on. Wow, look at that. Windmills going up. Heading into October. Thinking about building more houses. I don't want to do that until... I want to build them here, but I don't want to do that until these trees are cut down, so... Let's get more firewood going. For your first year, one person working firewood should be okay, but we can store it. And anybody else who moves in from here on out, I'm probably going to put them in the granary and the storage buildings to make sure they're maxed out. Storehouse only requires 2, and we don't really have anybody working there. And we'll need people to work at the markets, too. We could build some houses on the backside here. Or we could build little plots this way. Oh, that'd be nice. And then we'll just kind of have the road come down later. We need more hands to do more work. Ooh, construction's complete on the windmill. Very nice. We'll leave this off for now. Wow, we have not enough resources. We'll need 4 timber to continue to make more. Winter is coming. Where have I heard that before? All right, October. Now into November. We're going to start seeing snow on the ground. Very shortly. A little bit of waiting in this game, too, and especially at the beginning, since you're transporting so many things via the ox. And especially since, you know, you don't have a lot of people to do a lot of the work, too. The beginnings will be very slow. Let's check out our town now, shall we? Wow. Here's where the market will be. Here's our logging camp, and the firewood place is over there. Wow. Looking good. Oh, time for church. Wow. Impressive. All right, it is now November. Let's speed up a little bit more. So the winter will be officially over in March. March is when fuel will stop being burned by your houses as well. So they won't need fuel anymore, and the farming can begin too. So the official end is really March, when fuel is no longer being used to heat homes and people can go out and start working on the fields and crops can grow. So that's certainly something to consider. Another person moved in. We need a few more timber. We need 4 now in order to build 2 more houses. We'll do that in the winter, and that'll probably be the end of our construction for the year until we hit January. Construction can still be done in the winter. You can still design and lay out and build roads essentially for free, meaning that they're instantly built and don't take any sort of material. Well, we have enough wood now for the continued construction. Wow, Noobville is looking like Proville now. Wow. I'm proud of us. We did it. We're doing it. We'll need a little bit more wood to build the remaining stalls. We'll do that later. Oh, yes. Seasonal resources. So now the berries are pretty much done for the year. So we can turn that off. put our workforces elsewhere.
Let's go, people.
Or storehouse. Lumber mill. We'll keep a few people unassigned. So that way they can go and, well, we'll put one more person in the granary. And then we'll just leave the other people unassigned for the winter so they can build stuff. Wow. Alright, for the next year, let's prepare for more fields. So emmer is good. Flax, we can't really do. Barley would be better on the other side. So we can do some farming on the other side of the road. So we'll probably want to do flax next and make clothing. So we could do a flax field literally right here. But that's easy stuff. I also think this one field is enough to generate hundreds and hundreds of grain. But we can make another one and just have it turned off. Thinking of our future expansion. So emmer fertility over on this side. Build another field that goes up the way. Whoa. Oh, wow, look at that. Wow, that's going to look awesome. Amazing. Oh, that's going to look so cool. Alright, so we're low on supplies. Not necessarily, though. We have plenty of firewood, plenty of food. Those are the supplies they mention. Wow. We also have to build a farm for the next year. So this will help us into year 2. This will be our project kind of for the next year. Let's build our farm over here, next to the trees. It'll look nice. And we'll build it just like that.
Let's go, people.
Perfect. Now, of course, we need more and more homes to be able to do more and more work for the next year. We have 4 additional people who can go right back to the foraging hut as soon as that's back in season. And we can spend the rest of this time building more houses. Good. Very good. Alright, so the farm will be the beginning of year 2 project. So in order to get these going, we'll just need to build a communal oven and then some more houses in order to do all the work. So from here on out, we'll build some more homes, and we'll quickly build a communal oven and start building gardens and things like that. The oven actually could go near the windmill. We'll maybe put it behind the well here to use that space.
Come on, people. Get to work.
And then we can just easily build a little road that sneaks in there. Perfect. Right around the well. Alright, a well is complete. All the homes have well water. We have our communal oven coming in, which will take care of the flour, which will come in from the grain from the farm fields. And this farm will be operational as soon as we have more people. Awesome. Ooh, everybody's hungry, of course. Going to be a big year for food. Alright, so everyone's hungry, but in March, all the crops will come back. All the, I should say, the berries will come back, so we can start harvesting that. So that'll give us a massive boost. We made it through the winter, barely. But we did it. Following all those rules. Alright, good. Hunting camp. They might not be hunting anymore. Down to 20, so let's bring that down to like 5, and we'll let that recoup. We need extra food for the first year, so we're really going to hunt those wild animals, but then we'll scale back and they'll come back. Berries will be coming in March. And then we start our farming, which means bread. So we'll have bread, berries, and meat. Excellent. Alright, that is it, everyone, for today's first year tutorial. As we've made it through, it is now about spring of year 2, and it's awesome. End of our first year. If you have any questions, concerns, anything you want to ask, or anything you want to share, make sure you comment down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.